take brutal accountability. You need to look at your life and you need to stop being arrogant. You need to stop high-rising your ego and thinking that you know everything, because you don't. You need to take a brutal accountability and look at where you are in life right now, depending if you are in a really, really shitty place, or you had your first taste of success and you've been stuck in the same place for a while. Right? One of the biggest things that I learned from myself was, after getting a little bit of success, I went to a different country. I moved to a different country, stayed for a year. I got extremely distracted doing degenerate shit, going to clubs and partying and spending a bunch of money on stuff that wouldn't let me grow. Right? And not to say that I regret any of it, I really don't. Everything has been a lesson up to this point. And I'll kind of get into the story of all of that in a future video, right? But the point of this video is to take brutal accountability, and that everything in your life that has happened up until this point, and everything that is happening right now, regardless of the good or the bad, is completely your fault. You need to face that, and it hurts. It sucks. No matter what level you're at, right? And that's one of the biggest things that I've known for a while, but I forgot about it. I became arrogant. I stopped listening to people. And then I just started doing the same shit over and over again. And that got me nowhere, except for the same place I've been. In order to get to somewhere you've never been, you have to become someone you've never been. Right? And you need to take brutal accountability. You cannot just settle for where you are. You cannot get comfortable. You need to avoid becoming comfortable, because comfort is the killer of dreams. You've heard it time and time again. It's a very popular quote. You need to look at your life. And if you don't see yourself growing at the pace that you want to, it is completely your fault. Because if you blame other things, external things, timing, or just letting things figure it out by itself, it's never going to change. You need to take accountability. And with accountability, and with taking the blame for things, and not blaming other people or other things or other certain factors externally, you're going to feel shame. You're going to feel shame, because one day you're going to have to tell yourself, I am in this shitty position in my life is because of me and not no one else. Even if you grew up with a fucked up childhood, you grew up, in not the most ideal situations, it doesn't serve you one little bit to say, oh, because of this, I can't do anything. Because if you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and you have a fucking brain, then you can take action to change your life, regardless of where you're at. Because if you blame other things, like your external factors or the certain time of the year or whatever it is, right, you are putting powers to something externally to change your life. So if we were to draw this out right now, we do the red stick figure. This is you. And if you blame other things, like let's say this person did this to me or whatever, and because of that, I am not confident, and because of that, I can't do anything, and I just am stuck in my wallowing defeat. That is the type of mindset that will get you nowhere in life. And that these things that happened in the past have you on puppet strings, right? Different people, different events, different things that happened, or your environment. They'll have you on puppet strings. But the moment you put that attention back onto you, all of these things no longer control you. You need to take full accountability for where you're at in your life to be able to make a change. So that things like, for example, if like in my case, like things I was doing, I was, doom scrolling on my phone, I was getting really comfortable, I was, not putting my attention and focus into my business in my life. And one of the biggest things was I was blaming external things. Like, oh, I'm in this location. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm that. Because I'm here, I can't do this. That is bullshit. And the more you do that, it becomes a habit, and you start losing trust for yourself to actually change your life. So the point of this video that I've kind of remembered and extrapolated back from all of my lessons that I've learned for myself is you need to take full, brutal accountability for everything that you do in your life, no matter what it is, everything that happened. If something happened to you, it is your fault. It is your fault that you were not aware enough for that. It is your fault that you got hit by a car because you didn't look both sides. Everything is your fault, right? And that only with that mindset and frame can you actually take responsibility for the things that are happening in your life, to be able to be more prepared, to be able to take actions on the things that actually matter. And one of the biggest things in taking brutal accountability is feeling shame. And there's nothing wrong with feeling shame. Like if you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing, it is okay to feel shame. And before you kind of assume things, right? I'm more so talking about your relationship to negative emotions. I'm not saying if you feel shame, you should build a story and downplay yourself, saying, oh, I'm a shitty person, oh, I can't do anything. That's counterproductive. What I'm saying is use these emotions and these negative things as a sign, a trigger, or a sign from God or the universe saying, hey, you're not doing what you intended to do in this life. And you need to listen to that feeling, accept it, take accountability for it. It's a signal. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do in our lives is fueled by emotion, right? And we don't want to be controlled by our emotions per se, but we want to use them as tools. We want to use them as signals to things we're doing right or things we're doing wrong. It also ties into resistance. If you have resistance towards things, then it's also a sign that you're doing something. As long as you know that's what you're supposed to be doing, it's a sign that you continue to keep doing that. It's like mental reps. I was talking to Aiden today, and one of the mindsets that I have adopted recently that's been helping me out a lot, it's helping me out in business, getting my work done, not getting distracted, taking accountability. Like, for example, one of the biggest things that I was doing recently was we have this Discord chat, right? And it's all my business friends and close friends and brothers, we all go in there and we talk. But one thing I noticed about myself is it was a huge cope to go on there and to talk to other people. And in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, everyone else is also working on a business, this, that, yada, yada, yada. But in reality, we weren't really talking about anything that involved business. Now, I have nothing against them, right? This is just me choosing myself, right? And there's nothing wrong with talking with your friends and things like that, but there's a time and a place for that. And there's a time and a place for you to put all of your attention and focus on your goals, knowing what you should do, and stop lying to yourself about things that don't necessarily align to your goals. You need to take a brutal accountability for that. But yeah, that is my 2 cents for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If it helped you out, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.